Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios Channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade J.J. Williams, and today we wrap up our first week of movies that star musicians by taking a look at the Who's rock opera, Tommy, starring Roger Daltrey, Anne Margaret, Oliver Reed, Elton John, Tina Turner, Eric Clapton, Paul Nicholas, Jack Nicholson, Keith Moon, John Entwistle, and Pete Townsend. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, Today we're going to wrap up our very first week of movies that star musicians by taking a look at The Who's rock opera, Tommy. And our movie opens with a prologue set in the year 1945 as a montage displays the honeymoon of Captain Walker and his wife Nora. After his leave ends, Walker goes off to fight in World War II as a bomber pilot, but he is shot down during a mission. Captain Walker is listed as missing in action and is presumed to be dead, although, unbeknownst to his family, the badly burnt Walker is still alive. Back in England, Nora goes into labor and gives birth to a son that she names Tommy on VE Day. 5 years later, Nora has begun a new relationship with Frank, a holiday worker that she and Tommy met on their holiday. Tommy looks up to his Uncle Frank, who expresses his own desire to run his own holiday camp someday. In the 1950s, Nora and Frank dream of their future, but late that evening, the returning Captain Walker surprises the couple in bed, leading to a struggle in which Frank kills the captain. The heat of the moment panics Tommy into a psychedelia-like amazing journey where he appears to be deaf, dumb, and blind. Later on, at a Christmas party, Nora is distressed that Tommy doesn't know what day it is. Over the next 16 years, Nora and Frank make several fruitless attempts to bring the now older Tommy out of his state, going as far as to place him with some very questionable babysitters. They become increasingly lethargic at the lack of effort and leave Tommy standing at the mirror one night, allowing him to wander off. He follows a vision of himself to a junkyard pinball machine. Tommy is recognized by Frank and the media as a pinball prodigy, which is made even more impressive with his sensory-inspired state. During a championship game, Tommy faces the pinball wizard as Nora watches her son's televised victory and celebrates his success and luxury. But she cannot fully enjoy it because of Tommy's extreme condition. Frank finds a specialist for Tommy who concludes that Tommy's state has been triggered emotionally rather than physically, and explains that the only hope is to continue to have Tommy face his own reflection. An increasingly frustrated Nora promptly throws Tommy through the mirror, which causes him to snap to full consciousness and run away momentarily. Tommy reveals that his experiences have transformed him, and he decides that he wants to transform the world. Tommy goes on lecture tours that resemble glam rock gospel shows and spreads a message of enlightenment via a hang glider, gaining friends and followers everywhere he goes. Tommy and a more enlightened Nora and Frank begin to welcome converts to their home, which quickly becomes too crowded to accommodate everyone. So Tommy opens up an extension for his religious campus. The converts, who are confused about Tommy's odd practices and his family's commercial exploitation of the compound, wrathfully demand for Tommy to teach them something useful. Tommy does so, deliberately deafening, muting, and blinding everyone, only to inadvertently invoke a riot. The followers kill Nora and Frank and destroy the camp in a fire. Tommy finds his parents in the debris and mourns before escaping into the mountains from the beginning of the film. He ascends the very same peak in which his parents celebrated their honeymoon, by celebrating the rising sun as our movie comes to its end. This movie has some serious pros and cons for me. First, the pros. The cast is outstanding. Roger Daltrey is phenomenal as Tommy, and Margaret is gorgeous as Nora. Holy hell, I can understand why the kids of the 60s had such a crush on her. Tina Turner is amazing as the Acid Queen. Elton John is fantastic as the Pinball Wizard. Eric Clapton as the priest. Like, everybody fit their roles and their characters perfectly. The songs were good. I'm not going to say great because, for being honest, there's only a couple songs from the Who's Tommy soundtrack that I listen to outside of the soundtrack, that I listen to in like my regular Who's playlist. Obviously, the Pinball Wizard and Listening to You, the finale, which is usually on the CDs coupled with See Me, Feel Me. Those are really the only ones that I listen to outside of the movie. The cons. As has been well documented here on the channel, I'm not a fan of musicals. I don't mind music in a movie. I can sit through musicals. But my biggest point of contention is when there is no dialogue in between the songs. And unfortunately, that's a huge con for me when it comes to Tommy. It just flows seamlessly from song to song, and the songs are the dialogue. The dialogue is the songs. I've just never been a fan of musicals like that. I feel that if you're going to transition a play, a musical, and an opera to a theatrical film, then you need to make it appealing for the standard audience, not just the die-hard Broadway audience, if you will. And the standard movie audience doesn't want to sit through that. I want some dialogue in between. I would have liked to have seen some banter between Nora and Frank, between Nora and Tommy, between Frank and Tommy, instead of it just being the songs. Again, the songs are good. The movie was decent. But I sat there with my girlfriend's daughter watching this. First time that I have sit through the entire movie. My dad has tried to show this to me in the past, and aside from like the Pinball Wizard scene with Elton John and like the grand finale, I've never really been able to sit through it. It just bored me at the time in my life when he tried to show it to me. I did enjoy it more than I did then, but I still feel like it could have been better. Maybe I'm just being picky. Maybe it's because I'm not a fan of musicals, but I feel like it could have been better. For me, when it comes to my rating of the Who's Tommy, I give it 3 out of 5 stars. The cast, the songs, the general story were amazing. The fact that it transitions from song to song to song, and there's no breaks in the middle, no dialogue, and the fact that honestly, some of the songs are forgettable, are what drops it down to 3 out of 5 stars for me, personally. But what do you guys think? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And we have a huge lineup coming tomorrow. First and foremost, we're going to bring to you the first of a double feature for New Release Saturday, starting with The Magician's Elephant. Now, this was supposed to be the New Release Saturday feature last Saturday, April 1st, in the midst of NXT Stand and Deliver and Night 1 of WrestleMania. So you understand why it got pushed back. However, The Magician's Elephant stars the voices of Noah Jupe, Benedict Wong, Pixie Davies, Cyan Clifford, Brian Tyree Henry, Miranda Richardson, and Mandy Patinkin. And then we're going to roll directly into the second New Release Saturday feature, the one that was originally scheduled for this week, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, starring Zachary Levi, Asher Angel, Jack Dylan Grazer, Rachel Zegler, Grace Caroline Curry, Megan Good, Faith Herman, Lucy Liu, Helen Mirren, Digimon Hansu, Marta Milans, Cooper Andrews, and Gal Gadot. But it doesn't end there, ladies and gentlemen. No. Because later on in the evening, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, it'll be time once again for the Saturday night shenanigans that are Open Mic Night. Myself, the Simple Man Noah Foster, and special guest panelists for the week, Statboy Mike and Big Baller G, will all be there in order to discuss the latest news in the world of professional wrestling. And if you've been keeping an eye on the news, there's a lot of it to discuss for this coming week. But before all of that, this evening, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, will be our live watch-along coverage of AEW Rampage and Battle of the Belt 6, beginning at 10 o'clock Eastern and Pacific time. You don't want to miss out on any of that content, any of that coverage, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media. Double feature tomorrow for New Release Saturday, Open Mic Night, Battle of the Belts, and Rampage coverage this evening. So much good stuff in store for you here on the channel and across the entire multiverse of media. So make sure you smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Statboy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, pay-per-view PLE watch-along coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of The Who, fans of the rock opera Tommy or the songs like Pinball Wizard, See Me, Feel Me, fans of Anne Margaret or Eric Clapton or Elton John, fans of Tina Turner, anybody you can think of that would enjoy this content in this video, share it with them. It's the only way we're going to maintain our visibility in YouTube's algorithms now that we are a monetized channel. Thank you once again to everybody out there that both joined me and tuned in today and that helped get me to where I am so that I can be a monetized channel. It means so much more to me than you will ever know. And I will see you guys next time.